Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Ready? 15, line it. 15 line.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
On first down, Herbert. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates. 2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Herbert. He's got Smith here. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
Off play action. Herbert. He's going to float this one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Break.
58, Mike. Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field.
Hey, Zoo. 58.
From the gun, Herbert. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago.
Got it. Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh.
Back to throw. Herbert. Space to maneuver at the 40. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 29-yard line. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Now this throw caught left side. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
Ready?
First down, here's the run with Cook. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this. We got this.
Now a give running right, it's Cook.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. From the gun on third down. Herbert, he's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
At their own 19-yard line.
Ready? Get ready. Mark 54. Here we go. Here we go.
Naeem Hines, his first carry. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later. Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
Let's go now. 54. Pittsburgh. 54. Hey, defense. Hey, defense. Let's go. Let's go. Switch.
On third down, Brissett. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on fourth down to punt this thing. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 22. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Ready. 50, plant.
Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a second and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
So
they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a second and 3.
Watch the boot. Watch the boot.
Under 10. 5.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
There you are. Not today.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Down. 18 Gator.
Right there. Let's go, baby. Turn it over. Get that ball.
Shoot.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. Complete. Smith has it. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Herbert. And this one complete to Smith. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They'll get 11, but still a little short. Fourth down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They're all county, all state, and other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
You better be a turtle. Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
Brissett. He's going to air one out. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Cook following the penalty. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish.
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Justin Houston in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. It's caught. Smith. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he could break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. A second quarter score from down in Houston. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. We'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On second down now, it's Hines. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And it's third down.
Set, ready. Hey, come on. 54. Watch a slant. Watch a slant. Watch a slant.
Brissett from the gun on 3rd. Got an open man. That's Campbell. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them. Big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
On second down, it's Cook. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Herbert. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Looking to throw. Herbert. Over the middle to Smith. Room to run inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 34. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
Let's go now. 60 Pittsburgh.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Trying a little razzle-dazzle on 3rd and short. And he coughed it up. And the Colts pick it up. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunity. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Throwing, Brissett. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with.
Set, ready, 10 Lobo.
Watch the slant, watch the slant.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by Marcus Hunt.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So we've reached halftime. All we have to show for the first half, a lone field goal. 3-0 our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, these offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10.
Here we go. 8-3.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Let's go.
Try to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
At the Colts 37-yard line.
Set, hey. Man, touchdown. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Don't get nervous. Let's go.
From the gun on 3rd down. Herbert, open man is Thielen. It's complete. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
58 for Mike. Watch the pass.
Ready.
A 10th carry of the game for Cook. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Cut.
Get it.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert, he gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
60 or.
You don't want this.
Hit it.
Off the play fake. Herbert. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Justin Houston, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. This one from 46 yards out. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
Here we go, D. It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Complete to Hilton. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Mike, 55.
Play fake, Brissett. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 23 yards on the play. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
On play action, Brissett. That's complete to Jack Doyle, the tight end. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Mike 55. Hey, eat. Hey, watch the leg.
To throw, Brissett. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Here's Brissett. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
We own it. We own it. Now.
Give to Cook out of the gun. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, high 7. 5.
Here's 2nd and 8. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Pierre Desir able to get a hand in and make that play. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. In on the sack, the former Buckeye, Tyquan Lewis.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
First down.
Watch the screen.
On 1st and 10, Brissett. Flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd down now. It's Hines, and hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42.
2 straight 4-yard runs, and it is steadily working the ball downfield. To me, they're staying right on schedule. First down, you want 4 yards or more to set up the rest of the drive. They're getting exactly that.
The Colts on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Brissett sets to throw it. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Back to throw. Herbert. And Diggs has it. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10. Down at the 33. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On 2nd down, Cook. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Not a whole lot of room to maneuver there, and I think that's because everyone took care of their responsibilities, filled their gaps, held their place. No place for him to run.
Yeah, looked good. Everything got funneled to the nose tackle. He swallowed him up.
What we got? What we got? What we got? Let's go.
On 3rd and 2, Herbert. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Herbert to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Back to the ground, Cook. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
It's 3rd and 7.
Set up. 8-3. Topper.
Operating from the gun. Herbert. The quick slant caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
They'll run for it with Cook. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
This is where coaches have to have spent a lot of time going over situations with their players, because him getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays, right? Clock's going to go. But his thought process is getting into the end zone. It's counterintuitive for him to actually go down.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done, because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost. It's a foot race. 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are back within a single score. So that's a really big play here in the 4th quarter. And don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just 1 score. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand-new ball game. And now look at the situation. You've got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and then, by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on 1st down and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front. Good blocking. Nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage. Stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Cook running right. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here.
A loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and 11.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for Minnesota, it's a 4th win of the campaign as they get to 4 and 10 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4 and 10. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time.